These people will come back. Just give me a second. Just to be sure. Guys, on TikTok, please let's power tap. Thank you very much. Okay, we're back. We are back. It was Pastor Tome who used to say that, Patitos gang. We are back. So we're back. Where was I? I was saying that in his own mind, the whole idea was if we could only get, let me see where I was. Yeah, that, Ojukwu was going to send an army to help him to take over, to unite Nigeria. So what he was trying to do really was to, there were 3 regions in Nigeria. Sorry, there were 4 regions. There's the north, there's the west, there's the midwest, and there's the east. If the east breaks away, which was wrong by the way, but if they broke away, and then the midwest is made a nation on its own, although headed by Igbo as well, then in his mind, he will also now take the west out, and then they can be free from the north. What he did not know was that Ojukwu wanted Yoruba land. Am I the one saying it? Well, now I'm the one saying it, but originally the person who said it was Ojukwu himself. He wanted Yoruba land. And you find that in the letter that he wrote to Victor Banjo. In that letter, he said they're going to occupy Yoruba land for as long as they deemed it necessary. So, if you say, oh, what book is that? You're just making it up. Let me tell you the book to read. The book is A Break in the Silence. A Break in the Silence by F. Adetun Ogunsheye. Let me show you the book, although we're not reading it now, shall, because we have not finished this broadcast. If you're interested, it's page, you find on page 66 of this book, 66 to 68, this book. All right, so you should check it out. And then you see Ojukwu's grand vision. Then to make matters worse, he wanted more than Yoruba land. He wanted the entire Nigeria. He wanted the Midwest, he got it. He wanted Yoruba land, he would have gotten it. Then he wanted the entire nation, including the North. And guys, I'm not kidding, I'm not making anything up. It's just history. But stay with me, let's continue. So he says, I'm going to read that part again, then we'll continue from there. When I offered my services to my friend and colleague, Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, in that struggle, I requested that when I joined my efforts with his to contain the northern troops, and these being achieved, he on his part would assist me too by providing me with the forces I would need to save Nigeria. If you're on YouTube, I apologize for the technical issues we just had, but I'm glad you're back here now. I hope you're enjoying yourselves, right? Let's continue. It is my idea that the peaceful settlement of the Nigerian problem will be readily achieved when that fragment of the Nigerian army, now at the disposal of the northern feudalists, has been completely disarmed. All right. It is my idea that the peaceful settlement of the Nigerian problem will be readily achieved when that fragment of the Nigerian army, now at the disposal of the northern feudalists, has been completely disarmed. Towards this end, the Liberation Army is irrevocably committed. What is the Liberation Army? It is made up of mostly Biafrans. Let me tell you something about just being idealistic. Sometimes you don't see the fully in some of these things. Biafrans Doko Junu Liberation Army is the 101st Brigade of the Biafran Army. It's a brigade. That army is made up of mostly Biafrans, but they are the ones that are committed to changing Nigeria. Okay, let's continue. It is not at all an invasion. What is not an invasion? They coming into the Midwest. We are going to read today how they got into the Midwest. It is not at all an invasion, and it is not intended to promote the domination of any group of... Hey! May we not make the same mistakes of the past, though. Guys, I'm talking about Victor Banjo is Yoruba. We're talking about the mistakes he made. So people are shouting, Igbo, this is a Yoruba man. May we not repeat these mistakes. with this generation that just shouting, we want to change Nigeria. This man is saying it's not. Guys, just stay with me. I don't want to run ahead of myself. It is not at all an invasion, and it is not intended to promote the domination of any group of the Nigerian people by any other group through the presence of the Liberation Army. I wish to stress once again what I said during the press conference and previously on the radio, that the movement of the army into the Midwest is not a conquest. It is also not an invasion. It is to enable the people of the Midwest to see the Nigerian problem in its proper perspective. So you are coming into my space with soldiers, but no, you're not invading my space. So you just came to show me what the real problem is. Let me tell you something. What he's saying, this was what Ojukwu said. How do I know that? Just take a break from this. Let me read to you what Ojukwu himself said. This time I'm going to read from Achebe. Yoruba people. Yoruba Ronu. I don't know why they have used that Ronu as an insult now. You are Ronu. Are you not supposed to run? Sure, you're going to lock Polo any. Should think now. Let me choose this. What Ojukwu said. Ojukwu explained his ambitious plan this way. What ambitious plan? The idea of a surprise maneuver into the Midwestern region. He says here, our motive was not territorial ambition or the desire of conquest. We went into the Midwest, later declared the Republic of Benin, purely in an effort to seize the serpent by the head. Every other activity in that republic was subordinated to that single aim. We were going to Lagos to seize the villain, go on, and we took necessary military precautions. Let me now read what Victor Banjo said. It is not at all an invasion, and it is not intended to promote the domination of any group of the Nigerian people by any other group through the presence of the Liberation Army. I wish to stress once again what I said during the press conference and previously on the radio, that the movement of the army into the Midwest is not a conquest. It is also not an invasion. It is to enable the people of the Midwest to see the Nigerian problem in its proper perspective. I'm going to read some things to you later, but let me just quickly say something. It is not an invasion. We determined who was going to become the governor, and that governor must be Igbo. But it's not an Igbo domination. It's not ethnic domination. But the person must be Igbo. It's not domination, no, but you're going to bring in civil servants from Enugu to work in Benin. It's not domination, no. It's not domination, but the revenue from the Midwest must be sent back to Enugu. But it's not domination. What is the definition of domination? What is the definition of invasion? How do you define occupation? Once we're done with this, I'm going to read the book, The Midwest Response to Biafra by Uilawa Uswanlele. You compare it with this idealistic Yoruba person, and you're like, are we repeating the mistakes of the past? I firmly believe that the people of the Midwest would prefer to be able to declare their stand in the conflict that has arisen in Nigeria, free from any words indistinct, either from the North or from anywhere. I believe the people of the Midwest would like to be given an opportunity to state their case, free from any coercive influence due to the presence of the Northern troops. Not Ishaniwala. It is my view that the political future of Nigeria rests with all the people of Nigeria. It has become a matter of great concern to me, however, to be informed that certain ethnic groups are jubilating as a result of the presence of the liberating army in this region. As a consequence, I also understand that certain ethnic groups are feeling depressed and frustrated. Who was jubilating? The Igbos. Why? Naturally, it's their brothers who just invaded. These are people trying to join their region with the East. I'm smiling because I mean, I speak up for, if you've heard me, I speak up for Victor Majo a lot, but sometimes you wonder, like, What was he thinking? Let's continue. Kubu, thank you for coming back on YouTube. Sorry, we had that technical issues earlier. That technical issue earlier, but we're able to solve it now. Thank you. So let's continue. Odd Dog, thank you. So he says, it is my view that the political future of Nigeria rests with all the people of Nigeria. It has become a matter of great concern to me, however, to be informed that certain ethnic groups is one ethnic group are jubilating as a result of the presence of the liberating army in this region. As a consequence, I also understand that certain ethnic groups are feeling depressed and frustrated. I wish to assure all ethnic groups in the Midwest, just like you assured David Ejoor. This man assured David Ejoor that he was safe, not knowing that Ojukwu actually sent somebody to kill him. He was busy telling Ojukwu, Ejoor should remain the military governor of the Midwest, so that it doesn't look as if we are changing the government. You know, let's keep he will now become the governor of the Republic of Benin. Let's keep it like that. The person who was doing that the person who was doing that for, and whose safety was guaranteeing, he didn't know that your guy at the top don't send another person, make them kill the guy. Babatunde, I think you know, a lot of those people are very, very idealistic as well. Shoyinka was traveling all over the place because of these guys. He was in prison for 20 months. It's not the same person they're insulting every day on Twitter now. Anthony Renyo Lemoyeni, they insult him. Why did he go to Enugu? Why did he go to see Ojukwu? He wrote the book on that, and we've read it here before. You must set forth at dawn. Read the book. Why would he go through all that trouble? Eventually was picked up. He got letters from, we're going to get to that. Got letters from Victor Banjo, met with Obasanjo, drove around the Ibadan for 2 hours, came up with a decision. Obasanjo said no. Got Jimmy Sholanke to stay by the radio to ensure that he was able to help Victor Banjo. Went to prison for 20 months, came out, and generations upon generations of these people still insult him. If you like, don't rise up. Don't be shouting, detribalized, obedient. Let's continue. What he's talking about that some ethnic groups did, I'm going to read it, we're going to get to it in another book, but let's just finish this one first. It says, I wish to assure all ethnic groups in the Midwest that the achievement of the Liberation Army does not give any ethnic group an advantage over the other. It says I wish also to, let me say it again. I wish to assure all ethnic groups in the Midwest that the achievement of the Liberation Army does not give any ethnic group an advantage over the other. That's what you think. That's not what happened. The Igbos got advantage. They even got more than an advantage, Gonself. But let's continue. Don't worry. I'm just saying it now. You'll be like, you're just saying it. I'll read it. I wish also to appeal to all ethnic groups to exercise restraint and humility and not to indulge in acts which may result in confusion, bringing distress to a large number of our people. Any misbehavior on the part of any group of persons will give rise to a chain of unpleasant reactions, e.g., rape, e.g., looting, e.g., stealing, hijacking of cars. In Warri, in Benin, e.g., killing, especially northerners in Benin. Who did it? The group is talking about. Let's continue. To ensure that this does not take place, by the way, it's not just the people that did it, the soldiers that came from Enugu, from Biafra, also from Igbo land, did it as well. Does that make them terrible human beings? I mean, war brings out the worst in man, but it's important to talk about it. To ensure that this does not take place, I have declared a curfew from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Wait, oh. Yes, 1900, 7 p.m. to 600, that's 6 a.m. I wish to state that it is my determination to ensure that the curfew is observed properly and not used as a cover by hooligans to loot and cause disturbance. I understand that there have been a few unpleasant incidents of looting and stealing during the crisis. I wish to assure the general public that my army is determined to put an end to this, and any group of persons who continue to indulge in this notorious exercise will be severely dealt with. In the last few days, there have been a lot of unfounded rumors about the safety of a certain number of persons who have been summoned to a meeting, words indistinct. In this connection, I wish to assure you that Imokwede, ah, I feel sorry for this person. No? He said Imokwede, Mr. Diola, and another person are safe and will soon come back. They did not come back until after the war. These people he's mentioning, Adiola was the commissioner of police in the Midwest. They did not come back until after the war. They were detained in the East. Permanent secretary, police commissioner, detained by Biafrans in Biafra. He's here saying they'll be back soon, as if he's the one that told them to go. So he says, I wish to assure you that Imokwede, Mr. Diola, and another person are safe, name indistinct, are safe, and I think the name is in the other book. I can't remember it right now, but I'll find it in the other book. Are safe and will soon come back. I also understand that rumors are also afloat that Justice Bego, Dr. Oji, and other members of the tribunal are under arrest so as to stop the probe. This is also not true. I wish to assure all that the probe is regarded as an essential part of January 1966 revolution, which is concerning with eliminating evil from our political institutions, and as soon as the situation returns to normalcy, the probe will resume. The probe will resume. I am informed that since the Liberation Army came into the Midwest, a number of civil servants have become so frightened that they have either refused to come to their place of work or reported for only a few hours and then left before closing time. I wish to take this opportunity to appeal to all civil servants to return to work not later than Wednesday, 15th August 1967, and to assure them of their safety. That's the day after this broadcast, though. He said it on Radio Biafra. Oh, okay. What is it on Radio Biafra? Somebody is saying here on TikTok that the reason they hate Shoyinka is not because of the war, it's because of Nobel Prize. May they never heal. If that's the reason. I'll take that part again. It's that I wish to take this opportunity to appeal to all civil servants to return to work not later than Wednesday, 15th August 1967, and to assure them of their safety. Those, however, I wish to appeal to all Midwesterners to avoid tribal conflicts. The present situation calls for cooperation among all ethnic groups in the Midwest. Such cooperation is essential to avoid any shortages and to ensure an atmosphere of quietness in which these shortages can be contained. I am happy that steps are being taken to open a new market in New Benin, and this, in addition to the existing markets, will provide the appropriate venue for farmers to bring their foodstuffs for sale. While on the question of cooperation among the various ethnic groups in the Midwest, I would like to stress that all tribal meetings should stop, as such meetings are not conducive to peace and mutual understanding. In order to foster cooperation among the peoples of the Midwest, I propose within the next few days to invite a cross-section of the people of Midwest to a meeting to explain to them the present situation and objectives of the Liberation Army, and I believe this will go a long way to giving them the true picture of the situation and instill confidence in the future of the Midwest. I understand that anxiety is being expressed in some quarters about the safety of military governor. Sorry, I'll take that again. I understand that anxiety is being expressed in some quarters about the safety of the military governor of the Midwest, Brigadier David Ejoor. I wish to inform you that I have personally held a discussion with him and to assure you he is in good health and he is not under detention. Efforts are in fact being made to employ. Listen to this, Yoruba people. Oh my God, go. I'll take it slowly. I understand that anxiety is being expressed in some quarters about the safety of the military governor of the Midwest, David Ejoor. I wish to inform you that I have personally held a discussion with him and to assure you he is in good health and is not under detention. Efforts are in fact being made to employ his continued service in the Midwest and Nigeria, but until matters are finally settled, it is necessary that an interim administration be set up. This man really thinks he's in charge. Would you just be laughing? I have therefore today promulgated a decree setting up an interim administration in Midwestern Nigeria. This decree has suspended the operation in the Midwestern Nigeria of the Constitution of the Federation of Nigeria, the Constitution of the Midwestern Nigeria, and other constitutional provisions are applicable in Midwestern Nigeria, except for the constitutional provision absolutely necessary for the efficient functioning of the machinery of state. All legislative and executive powers have been vested in me during this period of interim administration. In order to assist me in the task of administering Midwestern Nigeria during the interim period, I propose to appoint a military administrator and administrative council. I have also established a Midwestern Nigerian Army and a Midwestern Nigerian Police Force, which will for the moment remain independent of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Police Force, the Biafran Army, or the Biafran Police Force. The Midwestern Nigerian Army shall, however, during this interim period, be part of the Liberation Army. All courts in Midwestern Nigeria shall continue to function as usual, and it may be necessary to establish a court of appeal until it becomes possible to resume something was indistinct, the Supreme Court of Nigeria. As soon as it is practicable, I propose to hand over the administration of the Midwestern Nigeria in order to proceed to the war front and to complete the liberation of Nigeria. Good night. I don't think Ojukwu was laughing. Maybe that was the reason he put Banjo into arrest. You know what? As I said it, I thought as much, but we'll be laughing now. Be laughing at his folly. And also, you know, Ojukwu has a very, very, what do they call, that word escapes me. Something about ego, fragile ego. He had a fragile ego. If you could sway people's opinions, that is why when you read the letter I wrote on the 22nd, he said to him, any decree, any statement that you want to make when you get to Western Nigeria must be approved by me, Ojukwu. So all this thing that he's saying now will just be like, meanwhile, the person who is talking about, we are going to, efforts are in fact being made to employ David Ejoor's continued service in the Midwest. That person that he's talking about was actually, you know what? Let me read something to you. There was an instruction for him to be killed. Let me read. Where is this thing go? I have to quickly read it before I move on. You see, if you're walking in a marketplace, don't throw stones. The man that was supposed to that he was saying, oh, he's safe, he's going to work with us. In actual fact, Ojukwu actually sent somebody to kill that man. 1 second. Life is not about your policy all the time. So you better rearrange your philosophy and be good to your fellow man, jailer. Stop calling me a prisoner. Let you dancing be the first to cast a stone. Tábà ṣá lè play orin fún yín lórí YouTube torí copyright. A lè fún yín ní free concert. Orin tẹ́ ẹ̀ sanwó wọlé fún. Don't say I didn't do anything for you. I have a lady say, I wanna be president to begin. I want your money for my government. What you don't know, what you won't know, but you can know. Jailer, jailer, I found it. Be good, oh, be good, oh, be good, oh. Be good, oh, be good, oh, be good. I found what I'm looking for, so let's read it. The plan to abduct Ejoor, in fact, let me start from the beginning. It says here, within 12 hours, the Liberation Army of Nigeria had completely taken the Midwest. David Ejoor, the Nigerian military governor, escaped the ambush set up secretly by Ojukwu. The plan to abduct Ejoor was, however, hatched without Banjo's knowledge, and this might have been responsible for his escape. Ejoor later surfaced in Lagos, claiming to ride a bicycle through the bush and covering a distance of about 322 kilometers. Of course, those who saw him said he looked too much fresher than a man who had been riding a bicycle and slept rough in the bush for 4 days. Ojukwu secretly planned David Ejoor's assassination. Ojukwu secretly planned David Ejoor's assassination, whereas Banjo had met Ejoor and guaranteed his safety. He even offered him protection from Biafra soldiers. Ejoor declined the offer. Ojukwu would have killed him and placed the blame on Banjo. Ejoor escaped the ambush anyway. Such was the treachery of Ojukwu against Banjo. I want to say, I want to be president. I want your money. That's the person that Banjo was saying is going to become the governor of the... Let's continue. It is important to critically analyze the... Let me take it again. It is important to critically analyze the broadcast, which was carried by the BBC only, and why there was a problem afterwards. Banjo first cleared his name and addressed the issue of why he was arrested. He debunked the rumors against him and stated the truth of what transpired that led to his arrest. He did not mince his words by stating that he was the one who helped Ironsi to assume power, and he was the first person that acted as a spokesman of the army at that period. Banjo made it clear that there were agreements between him and Ojukwu. Agreement na agreement, oh. Guys, I do these things intentionally, so we don't have a boring session, we don't have a boring class, since we're having classes now. So, folks on TikTok, on Twitter, Ẹkáàbọ, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Nigel, you said hi, but you now sent something that will never show. It will not show. You will try, you will type nonsense, it will not show. Your work will become like adìẹ làágùn ìyá rẹ̀ ní ọjà mọ̀, wàá máa làágùn ìyá rẹ̀ ò ní jẹ́ kó ká mọ̀. Tó bá gbọ́ Yorùbá wọ́ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ kan kó sọ fún ẹ, but wàá máa ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbà téèyàn pọnmi sínú apẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. Nigel, so keep at it. Where was I? Banjo made it clear that there were agreements between him and Ojukwu that he, Banjo, would assist Ojukwu in his war against Nigeria, and that Ojukwu, on the other hand, would supply him with soldiers and weapons to take Midwest and liberate Nigeria. His army would not be labeled as the Biafran army, as they were not one or the same. He declared that he was a Nigerian and he was fighting for Nigeria. The main enemy, as he saw it, were the few northern feudalists who held the country in the jugular. There was to be cooperation between him and Ojukwu. Thus, it was on these premises that Banjo established the 101st Brigade and made it a formidable fighting force. Philip Effiong confirmed in his book, The Caged Bird Sang No More, that when the Biafran soldiers fled before the federal troops, and Banjo and Ojukwu came to see the place and a vehicle carrying ammunition broke down, Banjo personally carried out the repair by himself and made it work. So Banjo was an officer who led his troops from the front and helped Ojukwu beat the federal troops back with outstanding success. Ojukwu had agreed with him and supplied him with his request, having helped him very well with his 101st Brigade and as the commander of the militia, whom Banjo had trained also from scratch. Banjo had assumed power of the Midwest based on the understanding with Ojukwu that he was in control. Let's continue. He reserved to himself the powers needed to appoint the governor of the Midwest and set up a court as in the modern world. In the same speech, he entreated the civil servants to carry out their duties as diligently as practicable. He had suspended the constitutions, including that of Biafra in the Midwest, since Midwest was to be an independent country. However, Ojukwu had a different idea from Banjo's, and he decided to act decisively. Banjo's broadcast infuriated the Biafran senior military officers. You have the guts to be on radio. People now heard you like you are some oga, and you are our boss. You are not the boss of me. Àjùwọ̀n ṣe wílẹ́jọ́ ìjà lára ọ̀tàn bọ̀rọ̀. Torí ẹ̀ lẹ̀ ṣe rí Yorùbá kankan nínú kọ́mítì tán kó jọpọ̀ fún Peter Obi last one tán ṣe ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá ẹ̀ lè rí Yorùbá ń bẹ̀. Wàá gba ògo. Banjo's broadcast infuriated the Biafran senior military officers, since they were not privy to the agreement between him and Ojukwu. They thought that Midwest would be annexed to Biafra, and they would take over completely. The broadcast of Banjo's broadcast threw them off balance completely, and inadvertently fueled more jealousy and hatred for him. I'm going to go to the disagreement between Ojukwu and Banjo, but before we get into that, let us look at what happened in the Midwest. Kubu, you're a good person. You're even interpreting what I said in English. Thank you. You're a good person, great nation. Let's just do this housekeeping. YouTube, thank you very much for joining us. We went off for a second there, but thank you for coming back. Please like the live. These things help to have other people see it in their feed. So if you're on YouTube, please like the live and also share the live, please. Share the link. Meanwhile, I should share the link again because apparently the link we sent, Otima Barishe. So this is a new link. So even if, I shared it earlier, but I have to do it again. So please, if you're on TikTok, on YouTube, please like the live. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to share that on YouTube just in case some people prefer to watch. Oh boy. Somebody wrote here, how can you be fighting for people that hated you, Banjo? Banjo has to be blind. Banjo has to be idealistic. You know those, we will change the world, we will turn the Naira, we will burn the world. We'll change Nigeria. We'll turn it around. There's no tribalism, no ethnicity. We are new Nigeria. Today's session is, by the way, so far dedicated to Yoruba people, especially Yoruba obedient. This is for you. Activists. Somebody wrote activists in the comment section. Yes, activists without knowledge. You be acting as if Nigeria's history started in 2022, just fighting without sense. The farthest you can, in your mind, mention in Nigeria's history is Goodluck Jonathan. Jonathan. Meanwhile, even you at that time, you didn't know what happened though. I'm waiting to tell you, you know. You don't know what happened. So this entire speech of Banjo is dedicated to Yoruba obedience, the so-called the tribalized ones. By the way, I love you, but let me tell you something. That path you are walking, that path, the end thereof is destruction. And I said something last week. Let me say it again before I continue. please walk out of that movement by yourself. Don't be pushed out of it. I'll tell you why. Those who get pushed out of obedience for whatever reason, they are the most extreme human beings I see in Nigerian political space. The venom, they curse Peter Obi, do all kinds of things because they were in that group. And what they are doing is that they are trying to make up for everything they did not know. They're trying to make up for everything they did against their people. So in the bid to make up for the mistakes of the past, they are very brutal. Insult anybody. Just mention yo. They don't know whether you want to say Yoruba or yo-yo or yogurt. Once you say yo, they are insulting you in the street. Because they know, because they feel no. But you see, you're one of them, Emax. Okay, let me tell you something, Emax. In case you're one of them, you cannot make up for all of those things in the space of 1 month. And that's my thing. Once they start, they don't stop. They get worse. And I really hope that they also farabale so that they can. There's no need to be that angry, to be honest. But I understand why you will be that angry. Like, Then they say Yoruba as if that is meant to mean something. Someone said they call themselves. Yes, sorry guys, I'm taking a break. I'm going back to the book in a bit. I need to take this short break. Yes, everybody's conservative. This conservative on my social media. Even Pamela and Igbami. Our boys in Buru. Even the ladies amongst them, more Buru. Any small wanting Buru. Because they are angry. Like, how much it go by? But you know what? They are needed. They are needed. But let me just say this to you. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just understand the fact that all of us, everybody learns these things, right? Some of the things I'm sharing right now, I was also ignorant of some things before. I was ever in obedience, of course. I can't be my age and join obedience. I mean, but me say nephew me loans of him join obedience whatever election. One be like, no obedient and say he escorted me to go and vote. Of course, I will not vote obedience now. So, what I will say is this: whether you are part of them, you have left, or you never joined them, stand up for your rights. Stand up for your right. Stand up for your land. Speak up for your land. But don't hate anybody and don't go to the extreme. Don't try to make up for the past. Just move on. Like it's a new day. Start. So this one, you'll be kind, you'll be fair to all, you love everybody, but you'll be brutal when it comes to defense of your space. If people now call you a bigot for that, in their mind, they know that they are stupid. By the way, those who call me bigot and insult me, they know they are stupid. They know. Like, I don't have to tell them. Whenever you hear me tell someone that they are retarded or they are stupid, I am not telling them what they did not know. What I'm doing is observation. I'm observing it. They know it's their nature. They are supposed to be stupid. So I'm just trying to explain to them, like, Oga, in case you don't know, I know what you are. I'm like, you don't catch me, you don't catch me. Uilawa Oswanlele. Again, before I go to that book, let me read remember what Ojukwu said, though. Don't forget it, though, because you must put it. You know what? Before I even go to that, let me read something to you. Let me read something to you from Chinua Achebe. Before I read to you what Ojukwu said. Guys, I feel like crying. Let me read something to you. Brigadier Victor Banjo was one of the masterminds of this successful Biafran offensive. Ojukwu had released Banjo, a Nigerian soldier who had allegedly taken part in the January 15 coup d'etat and was detained in Ikorekpene prison. Banjo had been found guilty of treason by the Nigerian federal government despite his insistence of innocence. He decided to stay on Biafran soil. He decided to stay on Biafran soil after secession rather than return and face court-martial. Ojukwu got tactical. You see? Makes sense. That makes sense. Ojukwu got tactical, strategic, and political mileage from having Banjo in Biafra, and he enjoyed the prospect of having a Nigerian soldier fight for him. Against protests in certain Biafran military quarters, Ojukwu brought Victor Banjo into the State House at Enugu as one of his close military confidants and advisors. Victor Banjo, it was widely known, was not in favor of Ojukwu's secessionist aspirations, but favored a solution to Nigeria's problems that would result in the de-amalgamation of the country back into the southern and northern Nigeria. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. Just saying. By the way, he's also quoting another Igbo author. Let me tell you who he's quoting. He's quoting Nwankwo and Ifejika, Biafra, the Library of Congress country. I beg you. When they want to use you, that's when you remember that there's a South. When they are done using you, they remember that they are an ethnic group and they are the ones that were favored by God. This thing happened. This thing have happened before. Like, it happens every time. When you start, it's because of all of us are together. Let's continue. Please listen to the part I'm about to read. It's a shame. In the late evening of August 14, 1967, soon after the Biafrans invaded the Midwestern region, Brigadier Banjo spoke to Midwesterners and Nigerians over the airwaves from Benin. Hundreds of thousands of listeners across the nation tuned in, expecting a detailed explanation for the invasion and a description of the long-term plans of the Biafran army. Some of the questions running through my mind and the minds of many Nigerians across the nation included the following. Who exactly was behind this invasion? Was this a temporary... What kind of human being is this? This man worked in Biafra. This man worked with Ojukwu. This man knew who invaded that. Who exactly is this asking these ridiculous questions? How other Nigerians may have the question, but not Achebe. But let's read what Achebe, like I said, Igbo writers, please, for the love of God, respect those of us who buy your books. Please, please, for the love of everything that you hold dear, treat us like human beings, because I think there's an assumption that those who read your books are fools. Maybe you are used to having fools, but some of us from outside, we don't have a please. Eshanua. On YouTube, please like the live. On TikTok, please like the live. Thank you very much. Facebook as well. Thank you so much. Let's continue. It says, some of the questions running through my mind and the minds of many Nigerians across the nation included the following. Who exactly was behind this invasion? Uraola. Was this a temporary occupation? Ask me again. What was the long-term plan? Go and ask Ojukwu. What would be the reaction of Gowon and the Nigerian Federal Forces? They'll be watching you and be eating popcorn. What kind of question is this? You know. This man was not a teenager during the invasion. He was working for Biafra. You know, this was he too did not know now. He did not know. Anyway, let me tell you why I know that he knew what he was talking about. The next paragraph. Banjo's address was a disappointment. It sounded to me far more like a lament of the breakup of Nigeria than a speech coming from a Biafran military leader or an explanation for the invasion of Nigerian territory or Biafran secession. Banjo dedicated the first half of his message to what sounded like an overview of Nigeria's political and military history and his own travails within that establishment. In the second half of the speech, he finally got around to explaining to his listeners that the Biafran invasion was not a conquest or an invasion, but an exercise designed to enable the people of the Midwest to see the Nigerian problem in its proper perspective. Banjo appealed to all civil servants to return to work the very next day and assure them of their safety. In a veiled threat, he warned those who failed to comply that they would lose their jobs. Stay with me. Closely following Banjo's speech was the promulgation by the Biafrans of a new decree that established what would be known as, how can you say you're not planning to conquer a place, but you are giving a decree about that place, and that decree will now make the place to be known as Republic of Benin, but you're not conquering the place. You're not even anything. You're just passing through. This world is not my home. Benin is not your home. You're just passing through, but you are renaming the place and also installing the leader. Let's continue. Let me read that to you. It says, closely following Banjo's speech was the promulgation of the Biafrans by the Biafrans of a new decree that established what will be known as the Republic of Benin, the area occupied by Biafran forces in the Midwestern region. It's a lie, it's everywhere. And the I'll tell you why it's everywhere. I'll read it to you very soon. And the appointment of Major Albert Nwazu Okonkwo as its military administrator. Okonkwo's administration, we were told, would supersede the previous government of the military governor, David Ejoor, who had been appointed by the Nigerian head of state. Major Okonkwo found his brief, some might say draconian rule, because he imposed martial laws, curfews, and limited accessibility, punctuated by insurrections and burdened by the assault of organized underground resistance groups. Listen to this. If you're from the Midwest, by the way, I'm moving away from Yoruba people for a second. If you're from the Midwest, Benin, Delta, parts of Bayelsa, be proud. Be proud. Because when they started their Wala, the Midwest guys rose against them. But let me read this and then I'll read to you what they actually did. But let me just read what Achebe said about it, because again, we're not going to give any glory to the Midwest if Achebe is the one writing the book. Why should we? But let's just read the little he said. He said Major Okonkwo found his brief, some might say draconian rule, because he imposed martial law, curfews, and limited accessibility, punctuated by insurrections and burdened by the assault of organized underground resistance groups. Many Midwesterners pass along to me accounts of their conflicting feelings after the Biafran offensive. Quote, we, on the one hand, were being told by the Biafran propaganda machinery that we were being liberated from tyranny. But on the other, we were feeling like an occupied military zone under martial law. Oh, shoot. Ambo. There was also growing discontent among the Biafran soldiers who were only there on military assignment, but increasingly, please listen to this. Please listen to this. There was also growing discontent among the Biafran soldiers who were there on military assignment, but increasingly found themselves targets of local hostility. There were reports of Biafran troops seeking medical treatment from food poisoning suffered at the hands of cooks who had been recruited from the surrounding occupied areas. The Biafran soldiers were under siege from several fronts. Only God can judge some people in this Nigeria, even in death. Good afternoon, how are you? Ẹkáàbọ. Only God can judge some people, even in death. When you read this, when you read this paragraph, what ideas do you have? That even the Biafran soldiers became victims in the Midwest. Is that not what you get? It says, there was also growing discontent among the Biafran soldiers who were only there on military assignment. They were only there on military assignment, but increasingly found themselves targets of local hostility, although they were carrying guns. Ordinary people in society are now the ones that are now threatening the soldiers, increasing hostility from local populace. The soldiers, they were just there on assignment though. Let me read to you what they did. Now, I've said something several times. How Azikiwe did it, I don't think I would. I mean, I get it, but like when you are doing something, in your heart, that should be like your conscience should tell you that. How did he do it? That he was able to combine the idea that they were the greatest people and then they were the victims. Achebe did the exact same thing. You have guns, arms, and ammunition. You are occupying another person's territory, and then you are saying they are just there on assignment, and they were victims of increasing hostilities from regular people. We are the one who is armed. So you are the Oga, but you are the victim. Oh, they were treating food poisoning. No, they should have been giving you rose petals on the. They should have just spread rose petals on the road and then take you all the way to the banquet so you can feast. I'm going to read to you what actually happened, but I have to build it. But I will just tell you this: these soldiers looted the Midwest. Entered into. I'm going to read it later because I have to build the whole thing all over again. But I'm going to just say this: looted Midwest, took people's cars, stopped them in the middle of the road, got the people down. Some of them, we have their reports. Took their cars, sent the cars to Biafra. Took salt, sent salt to Biafra. Took cars and sold in some cases, collected the money and shared amongst themselves. Why do you think the Midwesterners began to revolt against the soldiers? Because they hated them? No. Because they were subjected to inhuman things, inhuman activities in their own region. But no, the soldiers were the victims. Is the defenseless, harmless citizens that are the problem, that the ones that were hostile towards an occupying force, occupying army. The occupying army was the people that we should blame. What's happening in the comment section on TikTok? Oh, somebody insulted me. Hey, yeah, I didn't even see that person. That's the thing about your people. And you guys, you were raised to insult. You have no brains. You just have sawdust for brains. Your head is big. The skull is big, but there's no single tiny okpolo. May God deliver you from what they call Ojukwu, Achebe, Okonkon, Ndem, Chukwumerije, all of them, they put you in this perpetual bondage. May God save you. All right, let's go to the book by Uilawa. Sarumi, I'm taking a break. That's why. That's what's happening. Trust me. The book is called Minority Rights and the National Question. It's longer than that, but that's the short form. Written by Uilawa Uswanlele. Now, there's some things I should have read because of time. So I already mentioned how the folks in the Midwest, the Igbos in the Midwest, were the ones who allowed the Biafrans to get in. Okay? They were the ones who opened the door. And the primary person was Umbo, sorry. I have some people just being stupid. Sorry, guys. Kobo says Victor Banjo's children are hardened Yoruba supporters. Really? Wow. Wow. Mustafa Odeshino, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I'm just taking a short break. I'm going to resume reading. They follow the Adolf Hitler's play. If Ojukwu was robbing the Midwest Central Bank, the Biafran soldiers were also following his example by robbing everyone else. You know what? Let's read that thing about central bank before we go and read what Uswalele said. I was going to read it before. But let me read to you what happened with the central bank. Ojukwu's boys looted 3 banks in Nigeria, 3 central banks and post offices. The Central Bank of Nigeria in Benin, where they carted away £2 million. He also looted the Central Bank in Port Harcourt and the Central Bank in Calabar. It was because of his looting and stealing spirit that Papa had to now change the design of the Nigerian pound at the end of that year. So that I think it was from 3rd January, they started changing the currency in Nigeria. Because somebody was stealing money. But you're going to ask the question, but Victor Banjo was the leader. Let me read this to you. When Banjo captured Benin, I'm reading from the book Colonel Victor Banjo, A Revolutionary Betrayed by Niyi Aborishade. It says, when Banjo captured Benin, he treated the bank as a sacred institution and did not allow his troops or anyone to touch the place. There was heavy pressure from Ojukwu. There was heavy pressure from Ojukwu asking Banjo to break into the bank and loot it. But Banjo refused to become a dishonorable person. His discipline on the issue of money stands to his credit today. One of the many reasons why Ojukwu earmarked him for death was that he refused his order to loot the Central Bank of Benin and bring the money to Biafra. Yoruba Ronu. 1 second, I have to change the audio source. Yoruba Ronu. What a wonderful idea. Oh, what a wonderful word. Where was I? His discipline, that's Banjo's discipline on the issue of money, stands to his credit today. One of the reasons why Ojukwu earmarked him for death was that he refused his order to loot the Central Bank of Benin and bring the money to Biafra. It was a big lie for anyone to suggest that Banjo took money from the federal side to sabotage Biafra, or that he allowed the federal side to take the Midwest. By the way, when you read the script of the play, the production that Ojukwu staged in Aba, in that play they said, Papa Awolowo gave Victor Banjo money. If you think all this, you're a betrayer, if you think it's coming from nowhere, you don't get it. It was produced and directed by Ojukwu. Or let me put it this way, it was produced by him. Probably had somebody else to direct it. There was one supplying the lamba. He was giving them lamba. And what he said to them was that he collected money from the federal government. So he's saying here that it is a big lie for anyone to suggest that Banjo took money from the federal side to sabotage Biafra, or that he allowed the federal side to take the Midwest. A man who had the old Central Bank of Benin under him and did not take a dime from it certainly could not be bought by anyone. Major Wale Ademoyiga testified to the integrity of Banjo. He recalled that when Banjo entered the Midwest, he had with him the sum of £5,000, and when he was recalled by Ojukwu to Enugu, he handed the remaining balance of £4,500 to him for the continuation of the war. This indeed showed that Banjo had no intention of supplanting Ojukwu at all. Otherwise, he would have kept the money for the next operation, and he would have recruited Ademoyiga, a fellow Yoruba man, and his assistant to execute the plan with him. So they already hate the fact that he spoke on radio. They hated his guts. But guess what? He didn't bring the money they were expecting. So what should happen to him? Death. Are you sure the Aba stage play wasn't produced by Chinua Achebe, the propaganda minister? I don't even know at this point. But I know Ojukwu was there. I don't know if Achebe was there, but Ojukwu was there. It's a shame. Now let's go to the book. This is 604. We definitely will not finish today because we spent a lot of time on the letter, on the broadcast, which is good. So I'm going to get into this, and then thank you, HRH, for the fantastic work in the comment section. Just becoming as well. Thank you, guys. Or thank you, ladies. So what we're going to do, we're going to start or continue tomorrow. Okay, it's past 6 now, so let's see how far we can go. So let me go back and start with the idea of how they even got into the Midwest in the first place. So already mentioned how people like Nwawo opened the gates. So he says, with the growing chasm, this is again the Midwest states non-Igbo minorities, is like, one second, let me look for the shorter title. This one is too long. Minority Rights and the National Question in Nigeria by Uyilawa Oswanlele. With the growing chasm between the federal military government and the government of the Eastern region, both the Midwestern and Eastern Igbos in the Midwest engaged in open and clandestine activities against the federal and Midwest regions government. Now I'm back to speaking to Yoruba people. Listen to this again. With the growing chasm between the federal military government and the government of the Eastern region, both the Midwestern and Eastern Igbos in the Midwest engaged in open and clandestine activities against the federal and Midwest regions government. Firstly, some of the Midwestern Igbos started to agitate for their excision from the Midwest and a merger with their kith and kin in the Eastern region. So as Ojukwu was doing his own, some Midwestern Igbos were also trying to break the Midwest. J.I.G. Onyia claims that this agitation was motivated by the conspiracy of non-Igbo Midwesterners to deny Midwestern Igbo membership of the Midwest delegation to the ad hoc committee for Nigeria's constitution in August 1966. His claims would seem to be let me finish the second one. Achuzia attributes the formation of the Ika Igbo Association and agitation for merger with the Eastern region to the discrimination against Midwestern Igbo refugees from the pogroms in the north, in the provision of relief materials and employment in Benin City, who were told to go and meet their people in Enugu. Both claims would seem to be post-war afterthoughts used to justify the Midwestern Igbo support and involvement in Biafra. To actualize the agitation for merger of the Midwestern Igbo areas with the Eastern region. One second. To actualize the agitation for merger of the Midwestern Igbo areas with the Eastern region, listen to this. Some Midwestern Igbo residents of Enugu and Igbos of the Eastern region soon infiltrated the Midwest and started propagating Ojukwu origin for all the Midwestern Igbos and denying the cherished affinity of some of them with the Edo people. This was before the invasion. I want to read something to you from Barsden's work. I think I mentioned this yesterday. This was before the invasion. No, wait a minute. I cannot read this one. This one is bad book. No, it's not bad book. It's good book, but the information there, people just go and Larimo Giri. Oh, he hates us. That's the next thing. If I read the book I just moved out now, the tears shall flow. I don't want anybody to cry. Let's all be friends and be happy and jolly. Mambo, I want to read something to you. Whenever you start seeing people change your history, something is coming. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a pattern that you have to find. Oh, is it this one? Mambo, give me a second. I'll find it, I think. All right. Oh boy, this is supposed to be this difficult. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm gonna have to find another source for this thing. But don't worry, it's worth the trouble. When we eventually find it, even you'll be like, that all makes sense. So I've been knowing about Mumbo. Oh, good. I found the document I'm looking for. I just need to now do the needful, which is all right. So one of the things, Jochinedu, your end has already come. Oh. Jochinedu on YouTube, your end has already come. Okay, this, as I'm talking right now, this is your end. For what you wrote there, this is your end. By the time one or two of you get in trouble because of what you are saying, you will send a message to your parents to tell your younger siblings on your deathbed. So for what you just wrote right now, this is your end. Yes, you guys move like mad people. Unlettered, not properly raised, just a bunch of retards. I was saying something that one of the things that you have to begin to be careful of is when they begin to change the story. So you know what, if you are from a sensible culture, a progressive culture, a developed culture, if people are discussing history, what you would do is to guess what? You don't have to believe anything I'm saying. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. All you will need to do is you bring like a superior argument. You other sources to have a superior argument, and then who knows? Listen, I would acquiesce, but you know the funny thing, because they know that I'm not lying, they have to do what their parents did, which is curse people out until they kill them off. What this generation is doing, I've said several times, they didn't teach them history. They only taught them that they are victims. So they constantly repeat these mistakes. And once you do it to a particular point, that end you are looking for, that you say is close, it has happened to you today. When you now meet your Waterloo, hopefully your children will learn from it. How is it possible that, no, let me just stop. Because it's amazing. It's amazing that a person you could just get into a space and the large population, large majority of a particular group can just be a certain way. It's amazing. Can't believe it. This book is not opening what I really want to see, but I'm going to explain what I'm saying. Maybe I'll look for it when we're out of here and I'll read it tomorrow. You know what? I'll read something again. It says here, to actualize the agitation for merger of the Midwestern Igbo areas with the Eastern region, some Midwestern Igbo residents of Enugu and Igbos of the Eastern region soon infiltrated the Midwest, and they started propagating Arochukwu origin. There was no Arochukwu origin for these people until 1967. When I was talking to Yoruba people, I'm very sure some Yoruba people did not like what I was saying. What did they do? They probably, maybe the worst they will do right now, if they are the ones I know, not the clowns that got the brains of fish. Insulting their fathers. Where was I? By the way, some Igbos are not. I mean, many Igbos are wise and smart, but the vast majority of those who speak on social, the loudest groups, by the way, and I'm really trying. But when I say I'm trying not to say some things because there is evidence that in certain parts of Nigeria, a lot of people have mental problems. A lot. A lot. And that's why Buhari said what he said about creating psychiatric hospitals in a particular part of Nigeria. I'm not mentioning any part, but you can Google it. Go and verify. This one, I can tell you, go and verify. The gift he was supposed to give them was you know what? It's already past 6. Let me read some parts. That other book, I'll read it tomorrow. I found it, but there's something I'm looking for and I can't do it live because I'll be wasting your time. I think that would be disrespectful. So we'll do that tomorrow, but let's continue this one. You travel whenever you see people, and again, you know the crazy part, this thing happens in every generation. You go to Midwest and tell them that let me change your history. You are now Arochukwu. When was this? 67. The people who have been there for how many years? Meanwhile, when you hear that some people are vehemently against certain groups in Nigeria, don't think it's hate. Maybe you don't know what happened. It says to actualize the agitation for merger of the Midwestern Igbo areas with the Eastern region, some Midwest Igbo residents of Enugu and Igbos of the Eastern region soon infiltrated the Midwest and started propagating Arochukwu origin for all the Midwestern Igbos and denying the cherished affinity of some of them with the Edo people. This agitation was re-echoed where? In the United Kingdom by Western or Midwestern Igbo students, Midwestern or Midwestern Igbo Students Union of Great Britain and Ireland. In other words, just because a person got on a ship or in this day and age walked through Sahara Desert and found themselves in Europe does not mean that by any chance they have brains. Some of those who insult me live abroad though. And that's the thing, it doesn't matter. If you like, that's why when the other clown came up some days ago and said, I've been in Chicago for 20 years. I'm like, and so what? And so what? These ones were in the UK, approving the change of their own history because it will make them feel closer to their kith and kin. You know what? Blood is thicker than water, Abi. Ejoor alleged that the agitation was sponsored by the Eastern Region's government, which promised to contribute £2 million to the development of the Midwestern Igbo area. Let me shock you. How much did Ojukwu's boys, the Afran guys, how much did they steal from Benin? Ding, ding, ding. £2 million. How much did he promise Midwest Igbo area? Ding, ding, ding. £2 million. Wọ́n fi owó àbò ṣàbò lálejò. Ṣàbò ló gọ̀. Ejoor alleged that the agitation was sponsored by the Eastern Region's government, which promised to contribute £2 million to the development of the Midwestern Igbo area. In addition, the agitators demanded the government of the Midwest region to support the position of the government of the Eastern region and rebel. I made that mistake yesterday. In addition, the agitators demanded the government of the Midwest region to support the position of the government of the Eastern region and rebel against the federal military government. In other words, the Midwestern Igbos are telling Edo people, Ishekiri people, Isoko people, Urobo, Esako, Isha, all of them must now rise and rebel against federal government. Why? Because they want to have their own space with their brothers in the East. Mustafa, don't worry, the music is coming up soon. I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's fine. So let's rebel against federal government. They are the minorities, though, in the region, but they will instigate the people and act and what's the word? Protest for the entire region to break out of, to agitate against, to rebel against federal government, so that they can I just, has anything changed in history? Has anything changed? 2025, 1967, nothing much has changed. And let me tell you guys, that really is what is sad. It's not what was done in history. That's not what is bad. Kubu, please send me these things on Telegram. I'd love to check these things out, sincerely. You write some very fantastic things here, but please do. I would appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Sounds like what Nnamdi Kanu wants to do in NSAS. Minority wants to dominate the rest of the South. Yes, is this different from what's happening right now? Biafra has 40 states. Many of those states are not even in Igbo land, but the Igbos should be the head of that government and everything in there. I know you can't speak up. Why would you speak up? Are you a bigot? Or you have become a you-god? Let me tell you what is really sad. What is really sad is that this generation is literally, word for word, action for action, pound for pound, repeating the mistakes of the past. That's what is really sad. It's not that it happened in the past. See, when things happen in the past, we read it to understand it. What's happening in Nigeria right now, we are reading it to see the pattern, so that we know how to react and what to do to ensure that certain things don't thrive. The propaganda of the Igbo agitators created more tension. Some of the Igbo involved in the propaganda activities were promptly arrested for organizing meetings to incite people into supporting the Eastern region's cause and merger with the Eastern region. What this was really about was that they were Igbo, and to be fair, they are Igbos in the Midwest. Let me ask you a question. Especially if you are Igbo, answer this question. You don't have to write it, just think about it. Is Biafra synonymous with Igbo? If you ask an Igbo person, especially those IPOP clowns, they will tell you no. They'll tell you it's for everybody. Okay. If it's for everybody, Port Harcourt is Igbo land, Igocha, and Ole. Oh, okay, you are seeing the Ole. Port Harcourt that was built by the British, and Port Harcourt that they got into. That's even. Thank you for writing it there, Sha. I was going to say something. Why the need for the Igbos in the Midwest to be part of Biafra when they are, sorry, they will say that Biafra is Eastern region, not Igbos. They will say Biafra is Eastern region and not about Igbos. If Biafra is Eastern region, why then do you have the Igbos? Why are you telling the Igbos in the Midwest to join Biafra when the Midwest was never part of Biafra? Had oil. It's not like now. There were only only two states that had oil: Rivers and the Midwest. We're going to get to it tomorrow because of time. Ojukwu was proposing to Ejoor, even before the whole war started, that they should form a consortium, and he had already prepared all the documents. It's about the oil in both regions, because it was the governor of the East. Rivers was under the East. Rivers province was under the East, and then the Midwest was governed by Ejoor. That they should have a consortium. He also had this eye on the oil, which was why we will get there tomorrow. He mandated the governor that he imposed on them, who was Igbo, by the way, to ensure that every month the money was coming from the Midwest back to Biafra. Guys, do you know why people are angry with me? Because they know that this is not history. This is their lifestyle. That's why you're angry. Because if you know it's history, you will take it, you learn from it, you won't repeat the mistakes. But you know that this is not history for you. For the rest of us who are studying history, for you, this is your lifestyle. But you see, your lifestyle is a lifestyle of a thief. And the end of thieves, I'm gonna hang you on last name. I'm trying to help you so that they will not hang you. You're always looking for what doesn't belong to you. God has blessed every region in Nigeria. I know people say, to be honest, yes, the land in the east is bad, terrible. But guess what? There are some things there that God put there. For instance, Imo State has huge gas reserves. And from Osun State, we don't have huge gas reserves, or at least it has not been discovered. But we have gold. It's called comparative advantage. There's something you possess. All this stealing, Ojukwu, this covetousness, trying to take what belongs to others, it's demonic. There is no state in Nigeria that doesn't have at least one mineral resource. Some have 10. And I've said this over and over again. My prayer for Imo State, whenever they want to start, exploring the gas, whatever they have there, that we should have resource control in Nigeria. Because I would never want to share a kobo from the money coming from that oil. They need it, from that gas. They need it. Let them own everything. Let them pay a particular portion of it to the federal government. Let them not share it with anybody. And whatever any other person finds in their land, whether it's in Zamfara or in Enugu or in Kaduna or in Osun, everybody should own what's theirs. Because you are blessed. Maybe not with good soil, but you have gas. That means that God, in his infinite mercies and his wisdom, in his omniscience, he plants something. That gas, if you extract that gas, you can use it to develop your land. You can create the kind of soil we have never ever seen before in the world. You can grow something in the skies and say, oh, we don't have soil to grow it. There's something called aerobics. You use water, whatever, to grow something. People do it in Israel. Why this thirst, hunger for what you don't possess, this covetousness for what belongs to other people? And when people speak about it, you'll be insulting people. And by the way, insult, that one, I can take it sometimes and throw it back at you when it's too much. But the curses that you, when the curses that you guys come and curse me, that one is not landing. It's on you and your family. Like you are dead. If you, all those wishing death or not, me, I don't have time. As you're writing it, it's happening to you and your family. It doesn't go. Hydroponics, thank you for the English language. Lamsey, thanks. Hydroponics. If you write any bad wishes, evil desire, and your parents, like, it's not staying. I don't have time to now be saying, yeah, it's a lie. No. But saying solution, so if you curse me out, if you are insulting me, I can take it until it gets so much and I send you back to your parents. All those heavy things is landing and alighting on your family. But in truth, there is no reason for you to be looking for what belongs to other people. Stop being a thief. Your elders did it and they got in trouble. Should you not learn from it? Or what are you looking for in the Midwest? And by the way, not only were they saying Midwest and Igbo should go, they are telling the entire Midwest to agitate. Agitate for what? You are talking as if you have a say in Nigeria. Your land in Osun is taken over by Fulanis. Go home. What do you think I am? I am home. You are the one who can't stay at home. You are the one whose entire space is ravaged by not just Fulani. The problem with your own people, Prince, by the way, you can't be a prince. There are no kings in your place. You're a peasant. No, you're not a peasant. You're a slave. What am I saying? You cannot be a peasant. You're a slave. Your dad is a slave. You can't be a prince. Who lied to you? Your entire generation is a generation of slaves. Do you know the meaning of your ethnic group's name? You're a slave. You're not just a slave to Nigeria or whatever. You're a slave even amongst your own people. You are cursed to slavery. And the problem is that the problem you have is not that just that the Fulani people are coming to do anything to you. It's that even amongst yourself. You have cursed yourself. To degradation. Your space is the arena for ESN to display unknown gunmen, unknown gunmen, ungun no men, on men no gun, on all the other nonsense that you guys have there. Plus, you will find it very difficult to get married to anybody that has sense in your region because you are outcast. Are you the prince of the outcast? Are you the leaders of the outcast? Are you the leader of the outcast? Retarded. And by the way, whenever I mention that retardation, it's not an insult. I'm only telling you what your leader said about you. And if you think I'm lying, I'm going to tell you a book. I'm going to recommend a book to you. You say Fulani control the land. You can't go home. You say I should go home. You can't. You have no home to go to. Are you dumb? You are a vagabond. You are cursed to walk through the earth without any place to settle. But just in case at some point in your destiny of walking all around the world, you ever found a bookshop, get this book. Witness to Justice, get the book. It's by Martin Asankuka. He wrote to us. It showed us what your elders said about your people. You are a retard. I didn't say that. Owaneze Ndigbo said it. Just because we're in one nation does not mean that you have a right to come and be throwing shots. I'm going to stop here for now. But guess what? That truth you don't want to hear, you will hear it. The only thing you can do is to change or to hug a transformer. One of those two things. You have just one option. You change and become better, and then we can grow the nation and, have a good nation, great nation, good people, great nation. Like Professor Dora Akinli, which, by the way, this is why I don't insult everybody in Igbo land, because Professor Akinli, I remember her sometimes, I just stop. If not for her, when I mention your parents, I should be mentioning your ethnic groups and your leaders. And Professor Akinli was a good woman. And when she was Minister of Information, she used to talk about good people, great nation. So if you change, we can all become good people, great nation. If you don't change, the only option you have is to hug a transformer, because nothing is going to change. It's going to stop the truth. Who do you guys think you are? And the craziest part is that why not let's all just respect ourselves and be happy and be friendly with each other? Why don't you like that? Just to think that this clown actually wrote that nonsense when I was saying that Imo has gas reserves and they should have they should have 100% control of their gas, which any sensible person would know that that's actually that's good. I have good wishes towards you. I have good thoughts towards your region. But no, you are cursed with stupidity. You must show it. All right. I'm going to round up, then we'll get some other people. No, Igbos have sense. He doesn't have sense. He and his elders, his parents don't have sense either, because what he's doing here is a display of a continental issue. It's a generational problem. That's for him and his family members. But Igbos have sense. Don't say Igbos don't have sense, because Akunili has sense. And I cannot act like there was no Akunili. When I remember Dora Akunili, I remember that they are good people. But he and his parents are retards. And I didn't even say it. That's not from me. That's from Owane. You know what? I said this thing, I made up my mind. I brought this book out and kept it here because of that quote. So when I say it, I'll tell you where it is. Let me read it. Owaneze Igbo said, this is page 353 of Witness to Justice by Matthew Asan-Kuka, this book. This is remedies sought by Owaneze Ndigbo. They are looking for compensation for Igbos over the atrocities of the past. But they refuse to tell us how much they are going to pay for the atrocities they committed. You know what? All this, my gentle, just being fair, I don't even think you guys like it. I think what you like is somebody that just heaps insult on you, but I'm not going to be that person. But I can tell you the facts of your ethnicity. By the way, again, this is from Owaneze Ndigbo. Okay. They say they want compensation for the Igbos over the atrocities of the past, which they will not get. They want reverse discriminatory allocation of industries. They should go and talk to the governors. Give the East a steel rolling mill and petrochemical industry. You have all the billionaires wearing singlets. Surely they can build it. Give the East the second Niger bridge. We did that, thank God. Dredge the Niger, Imo, and Oguta lakes. That's a very good idea. Appoint 2 persons into National Security Council. Based on what? Appoint an Igbo man a divisional commander. Of course, there are many Igbo divisional commanders all across the nation. Now, the absurd calculation of human losses during the Civil War. Number 1, 50,000 Igbos killed in the north. That's not true. It's not true. It's about 10,000, which is a lot. Terrible. That 10,000 people. I would say even if one person dies, is one too many. But guess what? 50,000 people did not die in the north. And if you were not here when I said it, read the book by John de St. George, The Nigerian Civil War. 4 times Ojukwu changed the number of the people that died in October of 1966. They died between September and October. Terrible things in the north. Terrible. There's nothing to even... I changed my stance now because I'm talking about dead people. And it's a very important thing. People died. And it's an unfortunate incident, right? But when the whole thing was done between September and October, there was a publication by the Eastern Region government. The title of that pamphlet is Pogrom. In that documentation, it says that about 7,000 Igbo people died. Not the federal government said about 5,000 to 7,000, but they said 7,000. I think they said 5,000 to 6,000. The Eastern Region said 7,000 died. That was October of 66. By January of 67, at Aburi, Ojukwu said they were 10,000. By May 30 of 67, by May of 67, Ojukwu said they were 30,000. By 1969, Ojukwu said they were 50,000. These people are expecting us to believe that 50,000 people died. Meanwhile, nobody mentions the people, the Northerners who died in the East. I did a video on that. They insult me. That's the only thing they can do. Any other thing, you couldn't hear. But, so, anything that happened in the East to Northerners, don't talk about it. But let's just be hyping the numbers, hyping the figures. Irresponsible game of numbers. Then they said 10,000 Igbo kids in other parts of Nigeria between 67 and 70. One day, people get tired in this country, they will be asking people for the graves or long. I hope it never happens. But if people don't stop, one day, see this Gen Z generation, these former obedient people that are listening to this, they come here. Former obedient. I told you, former obedient they are something else. If you meet them with nonsense, they will ask you for the graves. Then you know that what I'm doing, I'm trying to let us educate ourselves. We're all learning together. I'm being fair. When they come and they are here already and they are listening to this, just go and tell them nonsense. They will ask you to show them where they buried your grandfather. That's why you know that you have been talking nonsense for 55 years. Because all of us are being gentle. Now take everybody to be stupid. Let me continue. 30,000 Igbos maimed in the pogroms. 50,000 severely raped. 50,000 assaulted and maimed. 600,000 killed during the war. 900,000 children who died. 500,000 women raped. 2 million. There's rape, there's severely raped. Wow. You guys are just doing games with terrible things. Anyway, 2 million children now. 500,000 women raped. This is the part I said, Owadeze Ndigbo said a lot of people are retarded. They said 2 million children now intellectually, permanently retarded. 2 million Igbos psychologically traumatized. I wish you could see it. I'm sincere, I'm reading from this book. They now ask for the total financial claims based on the above. In other words, all this trouble, all these people that died, we're going to reduce it to money. The retarded, the raped, the dead, the maimed, we're going to reduce it to money. And guess how much we want? 8 trillion 680 million, sorry, 8 trillion 680 billion 150 million naira. It's called Owadeze Ndigbo, A Call for Reparation and Restitution. Page 64 to 65, quoted in this book, Witness to Justice by Matthew Hassan Kuka. Are you surprised at 8 trillion? They've changed the figures though. That was about 20 years ago. They said it this year, they want 10 trillion. I said, Kuku said Nigeria now. Kuku said Nigeria. Can you do Kusha? And I TikTok about and I Twitter about Bino. Me the Kuku said Nigeria. Me the Abi. Say we are paying from the past. Kuku said Nigeria, 10 trillion naira. They should have met a Mayfield because that one was just printing money. was buying 753 duplexes, at least. If you have printed money like this, you have printed 10 children. These leaders of the people. But I don't even have any problem with them today. Any of their children that talk nonsense to you, just remind them that the leader said back in the day, 2 million children were intellectually permanently retarded. These ones are the children of those children. You know, retards also grow old. Just the sad part is that they pass their stupidity to the next generation. Mama, I don't insulin. Let's end this today. Our session, sincerely, if you really notice, is most on Yoruba people. Today's session is about Yoruba because I focused almost extremely on Victor Banjo's broadcast in Benin until children of perdition came to insult me. And I've told you, I am not taking anything. I'm giving back to you. Okay? So, the point we're trying to make today, when you go through Victor Banjo's letter, what you discover is this naivety that's associated with the idea of idealism. Oh, it's going to be perfect. We're going to change Nigeria. You have your plans. You're saying these fantastic things, but the person you're working with, who, by the way, you don't have the same vision with, has a totally different plan. So regardless of what you do as a Yoruba person, the other person has another idea. E.g., while Victor Banjo was guaranteeing the safety of David Ejoor, Ojukwu had planned for Ejoor's assassination. While Victor Banjo was talking about the fact that he was going to be in charge of the government of the region on an interim, tomorrow I'm going to talk more about it. He's going to be there for the meantime. And then he was saying that Ejoor's services will be required in the new Republic of Benin. While he was saying all those fantastic things on radio, Ojukwu was planning for Korad Nwawo, an Igbo man in the Midwest, to become the Oga. And when Victor Banjo eventually told Ojukwu that, guy, even if you don't want Ejoor because he was there before, take Ogbemudia now or take Trimnel. Ejoor is Urobo. Ogbemudia is Benin. Trimnel is Shakiri. Take one of them. Don't make it an Igbo affair. This is Midwest. By the way, Igbo is even the minority in the Midwest. Edo is the majority. Just take. If you don't want the Urobo person who's already there, take another Shakiri who is the minority like you. Or if you don't want those ones, take Benin now. Take Ogbemudia. Guys, shut up. Of all the people in the Midwest, the only person Ojukwu could appoint was Albert Okonkwo. Why? It was malleable. Number two. That's number two. Number one is Igbo. Here you are thinking of, I'm detribalized, we are one Nigeria. You are joking if you are Yoruba. This session, to be honest, is about Yoruba people. Before people say insulting me and saying things. And to those ones, like I said, come again tomorrow, I'll give it back to you, and then I'll send you home. When you get home, your father will send you packing, or you send your father packing, one of the two, because you don't even, normally you usually slap him when you wake up. So it's not new. The truth is, as a Yoruba person, all this, I am detribalized, I'm obedient, stop it. Love everybody, be fair to everyone. If they come with Ija, give it back to them. But the point is, on a normal day, love everybody, be fair. Don't have hate towards anybody. But when it comes to how politics plays out in Nigeria's history, whether we're looking at what happened in the 1930s, which we're going to go back to after all this, we're going to get into some of 1930 issues. In 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, there's no decade, there's not one of those 4 decades where the Yoruba people were not dragged by you know who. This generation is a different generation, I believe it. But guess what? Ideologies don't die. And if I notice that one ideology is being replicated generation in, generation out, I think we should be careful. Not to say if people are bad. Like I said, I could never look around and say Igbo people are terrible, because if not for anything, for Dora Queenly. And I don't want to say I have Igbo friends because that would sound like white and black, but Dora Queenly, all of us know. If not for anybody in this world, for Dora Queenly, you must be careful how you say Igbos are this. But the generality of the people have a culture That culture is inimical to the growth of my people in my own space. Therefore, I'm not against your people. I'm against that demonic culture. And if you love the culture so much, you will feel attacked. And guess what? I don't care. And if you understand that this is love for mine, not hate for yours, then you get it. Emeka Nyoko, thank you, Mark Onjola. Emeka Nyoko was the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Fantastic person as well, but he's not as popular, sincerely, as Dora Akunyili. That woman worked to the point where our own people attempted to assassinate her, not once, not twice. In fact, the craziest one was when she had gele, and the bullet went through her headgear, gele. May God protect us. DC, you are just starting. What you might kill you? These tears, it will last for a very long time. Egwela, you didn't know? One day, let me tell you one story. One day, they brought our son home. And something had happened in our son's school. Some people had gone to our son's school to hurt him. And they asked him if Dora was his mother. This is Dora. Dora was one saying this, so she was one relaying this. They asked him if Dora was his mother. The only thing that saved that boy was that he said Dora was his auntie. They were going to kidnap him or maybe even do worse. And they did worse to her husband, sadly. But when she was the head of NAFDAC, the kind of thing that was thrown at that woman over fake drinks and fake drugs. Listen, even if I get angry, I remember her and I'm like, no, we have good people. And you know, when she was Minister of Information, she used to say, good people, great nation. And because of someone like that, we have to you have to, curb yourself. But if people move mad, you will collect. You collect physically, you collect spiritually, you collect financially, you collect politically, you collect in every way. And it's not going to end. But this is dedicated to Yoruba people, but with all, in our acknowledgement, let's say it's a movie now, I'll still write Dora Akunyili there, Professor Dora Akunyili, because she was a fantastic person. I have to rack my brain to think of very good people, but all I need is one. Asika was also a great man. Ukpabi Asika, great man. Great man. So, if we find great people, we'll mention it. What is what saying? You are preaching hate. No, I'm not preaching hate. I'm telling you the truth that your parents forgot to tell you when you were growing up. The only thing you learned is that you are the victim of everybody. We don't believe that nonsense again. But if you want to be a victim, be victim. We're going to continue from here tomorrow at 1 p.m. if at time West African time. God bless Dora Akunyili. God bless her children. God bless her seed. God bless her. God bless everybody connected to her. Was Ukpabi Asika really an Igbo man? Of course, was an Onitsha man. And he was the governor of the East Central State. But they don't like him. They call him Sabo. Because once you are able to work with other Nigerians, they will hate you. You must hate others for them to love you. If you work with other Nigerians, you are a Sabo. Are we through with Victor Banjo's ordeal? Not even close. Have you heard how he was killed? There's a book on that, by the way. The book is by Nelson Otta. It's called The Trial of Biafran Officers, something like that. Nelson Otta. We're going to read it. That will be the last session. But for now, we're in Midwest now. When we're done with the Midwest, we'll now go to what happened at Ore. When we're done with what happened at Ore, we'll now end with how he was arrested and tried and executed by none other than Ojukwu himself. How come Banjo's family did not want him? He was in prison. And they wrote letters, by the way. When you read the books by Nia Burishadi and the one by his sister, Thank you, DJTY, the trial of Biafran leaders. Thank you. Thank you. I think you're the first person that mentioned that book here. Thank you. So when you read Nia Borishade's book, the sister warned him. Also, the sister's book. Nia Borishade's book is called Colonel Victor Banjo, A Revolutionary Betrayed. It was betrayed twice, by Ronsi and by Ojukwu. The people who betrayed him are the ones who called you traitors. Go figure. The other book is A Break in the Silence by Adeton Ogusheye. We'll get into some of those things tomorrow. It's been a wonderful time. I can't bring people up now because of time. Imani, love for mine, not hate for yours. That's true. We do this because we love ours, not because we hate others. But if you are a thief, you think I hate you, but I don't hate you. I just love mine. I have to run now. It's almost 7 o'clock. Some people want to speak. If I bring somebody up, more people want to come. And then, please, let's have this part on X. Which part? Okay, let's do like this because it will be unfair. So let's make 2 minutes, please. Right? The trial of Biafra's leaders, yes. I don't know if it was GJT that told me about that book or somebody else. I don't know if it's the one. If you're the one, say it. I want to acknowledge that contribution because it's a fantastic book, by the way. I think I agree with some things in the book. It's still a good book regardless. And that's something about you're the one, DJT. Thank you. Thank you for sending me that book. Not only, so the thing about scholarship is that the things in the book, you may not like it. For instance, I do not like There Was a Country by Achebe. Why? Because I hate him? No, because it's propaganda. He was a propagandist for Biafra. And when he was writing that book, he never dropped that hat. He was writing as a propagandist. But guess what? Even in that book, there's some truth there. And so there's nothing like, because this person is Igbo, he's a liar. Because this person is Yoruba, I can't believe him. If you're thinking like that, you should be in primary. No, you should be in kindergarten. You're not even, and that's how they are saying it. He's a Yoruba. That's your business. All right, I'll bring people up, but please, just one set. Emma Binu, if you don't say anything right now, please don't bother. Please, Emma Binu, because of time. I don't take too much. 2 minutes, everybody speaks, and then we go. Deal, Abi. Thank you very much. So let's bring people up. Please, it's one set though. The gentleman who came the other day, I was angry. Ojo niwa ao beni konshotao enejiri lejimpa eni binuwa. I think I can Korean. Ẹjọ́ power tap kí ni ti ń show inactivity. Ṣé àpò ní time yìí náà ti máa ti ń jáde wá máa report account. So ẹjọ́. If you're on TikTok, you know TikTok is our main space. It's from here we are streaming to other spaces. So please, if you're on TikTok, please like this live. We are the hosts. YouTube, Facebook, everybody is our guest. So please, on TikTok, we have a group of ne'er-do-wells who come around at this time just to be telling to try to report our account. So please, let's keep doing it. Thank you. DJ TY says, Otta was actually a journalist, former Draw magazine reporter who was initially embedded in Biafra. Wow. Thank you. That was a great gift you gave me. Thank you. Thank you for the book. I'm talking about gifts. Thanks to everybody who has, is never do wells, but they usually just remove the V there, call them never do wells. Never do wells. Never do wells. So tó bá ti ń dọwọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ báyìí, máa ọ̀rọ̀ wọn dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ adẹ́tẹ̀ ò lè fún wàrà ṣùgbọ́n lè dá wàrà nù. They can't build anything, but they are destined to their goal in life is to be destroying things. So once it gets to a particular time, they always report their account so that they can pull it down. But they'll work in vain. They'll labor in vain, just like the name of their party. Guys, to be fair, I don't like Labour Party. As long as Obi is there, because he has destroyed our party. But it's going to coalition now, so we'll see what happens there. Let's bring people up, and then we'll have people speak. I love everybody, but that party, what's it budget? Photo thoughts, that one that has been insulting wants to come up. You're going to be the last person to speak, Shao. If you agree, come up. If not, forever remain silent. So take Johnson. Please mute everybody. Dark Poet, Ilatia, and Johnson. Thank you. So Johnson, please go on. 2 minutes, please. And then
Good evening,
photo,
brother.
you can come up later. Good evening, sir.
God bless you for the good work you are doing. I'm
Thank
really
you.
happy since I've actually stumbled at your page, and I'm very, very happy. And I pray God will continue to strengthen you for
Amen.
this,
Amen.
because it pricked my heart before when I discover of recent how distorted the history of Nigeria has been, especially online. When we are talking of online, especially
Guys, please power tap. Oh, that's it. I started though. Seriously, let's power tap as
the,
we're listening. We're
the
almost
one
done
on
anyway.
Google. So, because before you argue small thing, they will tell you, ask Google. And these things on Google, these people, they intentionally invaded the space to write what they want people to know. And there are some things when you know that everybody knows it, that this thing belongs to Yoruba space. But by the time you check it up, you discover that they have changed the narratives to their own favor. So it pricks me, and I cannot even do anything. People like me, because I'm somehow handcuffed because of what I do. I'm a pastor, by the way, a pastor of a gospel church. So I'm seeing these things. So I am a pastor of multi tribes. So there are many people. So I can't come out openly to be saying things like you are saying now. You understand? But actually, I love it, because if I do it because of what I do, they will see me from another perspective of life. So, and as a pastor of a church, it's not good for me at all. So I'm so much happy with what you are doing. God bless you. Continue, my brother. Continue. I'm really happy, and I know very well many people are happy with what you are doing. God will continue to strengthen you. I don't know if you are still hearing me. I can't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I was trying to say something to folks on Twitter. So, 1 second, I'll respond to you in a bit. Please, if you're on
All
Twitter,
right.
I'm going to end the live because people are speaking now, and I'm not able to stream so that you can hear it. We still have to fix something. So maybe by tomorrow it's going to get better, and then we'll also be able to listen to you as well, contribute. So I apologize. I'm going to have to end Twitter space now, but we're going to be here again tomorrow at 1 p.m. if at time West African time. So please join us tomorrow on Twitter. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being here since 1 p.m. today. We'll be here again tomorrow, 1 p.m. if at time West African time. All right. Having said that, let me now respond to you, sir. Pastor.
Thank you.
So I think let me ask a question. And I thank you. Thank you for the good. Thank you for your kind words. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, because it's encouraging. But I just want to say something. But I want to move finish be to my room. To communicate with professor.
Okay.
Apologies, no, I don't even like to say it. But let me say something. Ṣé Martin Luther King?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣé ẹ̀yà ẹ̀ ló jà fún àbí gbogbogbò?
Gbogbogbò.
Ẹ̀yà ẹ̀ ló jà fún o.
Blacks.
Okay, ṣé ẹ̀yà ẹ̀ ló jà fún àbí gbogbo ayé? Ṣé gbogbo ayé ló jà fún àbí ẹ̀yà tiẹ̀?
Rárá, ẹ̀yà tiẹ̀ tó wà
ní l'Amẹ́ríkà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣé rí? I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, but there's something that I think Christianity has preached in the last 40 years has missed out on: the concept of nationality and nationalism. Now, I don't believe in Christian nationalism. That's not the point. I'm saying that whatever Christianity makes you weak as far as your culture and your nationality or ethnic nationality is concerned, that Christianity needs to be checked again. I'll give an example. Paul was talking to certain people and he said to them, he said, I am a Hebrew of Hebrews, of the tribe of Benjamin. He was giving them his ethnic card.
Yes.
Beyond ethnicity, he also mentioned his tribe.
Yes.
When he was imprisoned and the centurion came to meet him, what did he tell the centurion? When the centurion was beating, I think it was Silas, he told him, he said, you are beating a Roman citizen. And that one said, I bought it with a great price. And Paul said, I was born Roman. What did he do there? He played the nationality card. I don't think Christians, especially those of us in the Pentecostal charismatic movement, understand the depth of ethnic identity. Yes, it's the same Paul who said in Christ there's neither Jew nor Greek. But it's the same Paul who is asserting that I am actually a Hebrew of Hebrews or the tribe of Benjamin. It's the same Paul who is saying I'm a Roman. I'm saying that the misunderstanding of scripture is what curbs Christians from being able to be assertive about ethnicity. It's not so much Christianity itself. In other words, okay, if I'm a Christian, can I enter Vatican? And they just say, without passport, without anything, I just enter Vatican and now say, oh yeah, come in, because we are all believers in Jesus Christ. Of course not. They don't care. Sure. They have the way, the procedures of guarding that space. There's a reason they wrong that stuff. That they do it that way. So the point I'm trying to make is that as Christians, we have to be not hateful. We can't afford to be hateful. We can't afford to be in a group of people who just say, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like Igbo. That's why you will not see me say things like, I hate Igbos. I can't do that. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Because you're supposed to love people. If you're really a Christian, you should love people. But love, what does it mean? Does love mean that I can just leave my house open? No. Love. So the more we understand the unique makeup of Nigeria and most African nations, and understand the fact that these things are not mutually exclusive, you can love people and still be firm. And in Jesus' words to us, it says, love your neighbor love thy neighbor as thyself. In other words,
actually,
we have to love ourselves. I know. No, I'm not even preaching to you.
From my own side, what I'm trying to say is that you have this core. I believe it. That is the reason why you are in this space today. You understand? That is what I'm trying to.
Absolutely. I get you, sir.
I spent 9 years in Ghana. I know what I face as a Nigerian in Ghana, and I know how I defend my culture, my people. Over there, when they are talking in some Ghana, in Ghana, when they are talking, when they say Ogbomoso people, they are talking of Yorubas because the
Ogbomoso.
Yes,
wait.
Okay.
Yoruba people.
No, I'm not Ogbomoso. I'm Ekitima.
You are Ekiti. Ogbomoso. Those people can travel.
Yeah. So they know that Ogbomoso people are the first set of people that used to come to Ghana long ago. In fact, majority of them, they are now indigenous. They have land and cocoa and everything over there. So when they want to talk about Yorubas, some of them, like you are in Takrady or some other side, or like Kumasi, they will mention Ogbomoso. So you know they are talking of Yorubas. But when you see this set of people, especially the new ones that are coming in the past 10
guys, power tap. This is showing in activity, please, on TikTok. Power tap. I want to be one round.
They destroy the identity of Nigerians there. So I have to let them know when you are talking of Nigerians, there are Nigerians that are Nigerian. So I defend in my own space, but what I'm saying, I can't come out openly because I don't have this platform you have. That is what I'm actually.
I get you, sir.
Commending you for. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I was just using that to also talk to Christians, not even like I just use that to talk to Christians so that they don't feel, because people sometimes look at me and say there's a contradiction. Yeah, I'm not just a Christian, by the way, but I won't go into my personal stuff. But say you are doing this, I'm like, doesn't. But thank you for that. By the way, Ogbomoso people, respect you guys, Eshion, Mr. Johnson. Ogbomoso people can travel. When they ejected Nigerians from, there was Nigeria must go before Ghana must go. They chased us away from Ghana before later we now retaliated. Anyway, when a bunch of people left Takoradi, Accra, Kumasi, when they left and got to Nigeria, you know where they went to? Jos, straight. Now you find them in Jos. Of course, they were there before they even chased them. But they're in Jos, they're in Kano, they're in Sokoto, they're all over the place. But you don't hear them telling people that they own their land because they have sense. That is it. So people, may God give them sense. All right, let's go to Iletia and then Dark. Please, I can't bring anybody up again because of time. I'm having Iletia.
Yes, good afternoon,
Good
everybody.
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I greet you in the name of Edumare. Um, I'm not going to say much, only possibly stating the obvious. And my submission today is actually to Yorubas, especially the Afeniferis, who, for some reason, are taking up defense of these people. I want to give a message to them on TikTok. I don't know, maybe they don't know the history, like the history that you're giving today. Any Yoruba that goes against his own people, Iteni. Because these are Feniferes, especially one man called Mogaji, that thinks that he can sideline one ethnic group that is becoming a pest to Yorubas and then focus on one, because this is what these people do. They were trying to get us to focus on one side, whereas they were the ones that were doing the most dangerous of all things. And this Mogaji that is in Afeni Ferry seems to have forgotten that these people are they are betrayers. And any Yoruba that sides with them, we have so many examples, just like the Victor Banjo, and some others that have gone that way, Iteni. So Afeni Ferry that is siding them, I just want to say, Afeni Ferry, Erunu. Thank you. That's my submission.
Thank you very much. But let me quickly add that that's a faction of Afenifere, the one with the one led by Baba Ayo Banjo, which David Farotimi is speaking for now. But there's real Afenifere. That's the one. The original one is the one with Baba Fashionati, and is now being led by Oba Olufalaye. They are Afenifere. They are representatives. The other ones are they're just stealing our name and our brand, and they will amount to nothing in Yoruba land because they don't really care for us. They are the ones who are going to sell what belongs to the collective and make it something for the entire. I mean, every part of Nigeria has a socio-cultural group or socio-political group. Why must it be that the one that's ours should become the one? Why not just create another thing? Are you bereft of ideas? Why not just create something and make it for Nigeria? Why must it be our own that you make for everybody? So no, they don't represent us. I hope that something even happens that they stop them from using that name because they're not worthy of the name. Before we go to the next speaker, somebody wrote something on Twitter, on YouTube that I find very fascinating, and I want to appreciate you, Ifeolu Babalola. He says, after this, I looked, and therefore before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. Revelation 7, verse 9. Somehow, even in heaven, nationality is still recognized. Nationality is still recognized. I'm a Christian. I'm proud to be Christian. I'm Yoruba. I am proud to be Yoruba. And guess what? There's no contradiction. So the point is that when you speak up, it doesn't change the fact that you're a Christian. Your own heart will tell you. I want to just spend 1 or 2 minutes to say this. Your own heart will tell you if you are hating on the other group. And if your heart ever tells you, please stop. You know why? If you don't, you're going to sear your heart. If you know that thing is only hate, pause, stop, and just try and calm down and try and understand why you're doing what you're doing. This thing, the reason I can do it, and to be fair, what Pastor Johnson said is true. Some people are called to do certain things. But you see, we do it. I mean, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. It's not just YouTube. It's not just TikTok or social media. There's something fundamental. There's something deep about this thing, right? But that's for another space, not for public like this. But the point is that apart from the fact that you are backed and you have something sorted, just get to the point where whatever you are saying in your heart, know that what is motivating it, I keep saying it, is the love for your people, not the hate for the others. You know why? If the love for your people is what is making you do what you're doing, it means that your people are the main goal. They are the main target of your whatever, of your activities. In other words, if we want to do this, how do we win? How do we get better? How do we teach ourselves? How do we learn? How do we develop? How do we replicate the greatest of the past? Those things. But in doing that, you will exclude certain people. But if that exclusion is your goal, you will exclude them, but you have no plans for your people. In other words, what you have done is to just push people out and hate on them. That is not even fair to you as a person, because your heart would have been seared in the process. The reason I can say this confidently, and I will still see, by the way, I also lead a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal group. Different ethnicities, and there are Igbos there. Some of them don't agree with what I'm doing, and it's okay. It's okay. You can't force them. I can't say, you must do it or you are a bigot. That means I've just done exactly what they do. It's okay if they don't get it. But the reason I can do it and still be friendly towards them and still help wherever I can, and still be with people from the same ethnic group, is because in my heart of hearts, I'm not condemned. Because I hate no one. It's not about them. It's about my own space. And if you become a threat to that space, even if you're a Christian, why do Christian nations, quote unquote, like nations led by Christians, why do they go to war? When they go to war, do they do praise and worship, or they carry gun and kill each other? Are they killing each other really, or are they defending their homeland? Why do soldiers not feel bad when they kill people? I mean, the trauma is there, but why don't they have the kind of guilt that murderers have? The murderer holds a gun, shoots a person. The soldier holds a gun, shoots a person. The soldier doesn't feel the way the murderer feels. Why? Because the murderer is killing that person because he hates that person, or is about that person and about himself in his selfishness. The soldier who is killing, although what he's doing, he may not like the idea of killing people, but he has to protect his own space. Think like a soldier. It's to protect your space. It's not because you hate the other person. It's not hatred. You are protecting your space. Once you have that mindset, it becomes a lot easier. But please, in your own heart of hearts, don't hate anybody. Therefore, it becomes easy. If you like, someone say, how do you sleep with yourself? I sleep very fine. All I need to do is to get my head on the pillow. Motilo. Sopotilo. Sleep very beautifully, like a baby. Have no issues because I don't hate anybody. All right, our final speaker for today will go on. We're going to have Dark Poet, and it will be our final speaker for today. Hello, Dark Poet.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I have quite a lot, but I was squeezed into the 2 minutes, so I might talk a bit fast today. See, this I do have debate with these people sometimes, and because I'm coming from an angle of knowledge backed by statistics, backed by history, a lot of them they resort to insult and ad hominems and character assassination at the end of the day. There was a day I told you, I said, see, your best bet of becoming a president in this country, which is slight, is to align with the Southwest. I said, even though I don't want you guys to align because the way you guys rule, it doesn't fit our own thing. I said, I've been to the North, I've lived in the North for some years, months. I said, a Northerner will never allow you be president and he will be vice president. His Northern brothers will not vote for him. This is factual because I've lived with these people. I know them very well. Once you put a Southeasterner as the head and you put a Northerner as the deputy, you are not getting all Northern votes, not even a fraction. You are not getting anything. And I said, the only person that you could have even persuaded if you are good to, which is the Southwest, it is always this jealousy thing. Always as a character assassination, always insult. I said that is why you will never. It's not by any means. It's by your own doing that you will never become president. Nobody is holding you back. You are holding yourself back. And I told them this is happening in the developmental part of your place too. Say that why you are not developing is because it is too much of a burden that you are carrying in your mind for others. It's too much of a burden. That's why you are not growing because the energy you are supposed to channel to development, you are channeling it to it. That is major part of your problem. I said once you let go, free your heart, and you coalition or cooperation with others, you will see your region will develop and you'll grow fast because the people that can help you. Now, if you talk about agriculture and everything, you go with either the south or the north central. Those are. If you talk about education, the southwest can help you. These people have what you need. You don't have anything to offer them, but you are still fighting them up and down. That is why you are not growing. That's my contribution.
Thank you. Thank you. This is one of the reasons I also preach hating. Before the person you are hating gets punished for your hatred, you and your generations would have been punished a million times over. You'd have punished yourself for just because that hate. That's why, as a Yoruba person, don't hate anybody. You know why? That energy will not help you build. It's a very destructive energy. You don't want it. But guess what? Stand up for what's yours. Be assertive, be firm, speak boldly. If they hate it, they will learn. They're going to learn, like this guy says, and they will learn. I hope it's not the hard way. I hope we can learn by just talking to ourselves. But if people don't get it, then they're going to gwingi koje away. They're going to pass their boundaries. And those people that are going to respond to them will not be speaking English like I'm doing. They'll not be reading books. Their weapon will not be books and tablets. It will be something else. I hope that day never comes. But that will only be if people become reasonable. If not, adẹni wọn yóò bá land bàjẹ́ ẹlòmíì gan máa ń wọ suit tọ́ọ̀gì ni wọ́n lè burú bí ọmọ burúkú dẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ tiẹ̀. Someone on YouTube says, in fact, thank you, Adeomojola, good to see you, Chief. It says, in fact, God wants us to use our culture to worship him. This idea that Christianity means Yoruba must allow Igbo to do whatever they want with the land God gave to Yoruba is like Usman Danfodio. That is true. And that was what Danfodio used in Hausa land. And that was how Fulani was able. They used religion. You buy 5 million people and you want peace. Don't worry about me. Number one, I didn't kill anybody. Number two, the people that died in your place are not up to 5 million. Your entire population was 7 million. If 5 million people died, maybe you were having sex with monkeys to have more children. Number two, nobody owes you any apology in Nigeria. Nobody. If you're looking for apology, go to Ojukwu's grave. He has some to give you. You can't be blackmailing people. 7 billion people that no. It's the world that was in your locality before they died. 5 million. And that's just the numbers never tally. It's 1 million here today, 2 million, 5 million. I've heard 21 million before. Guys, I'm telling you, I've heard it. I heard it on TikTok. 21 million. I was like, Me no go Nigeria in 1967. Iro ni, afishe ni. All the people that died in Nigeria, the soldiers, the Biafran soldiers, the Biafran civilians, the southeastern, the south people that were killed by Biafrans, the Middle East people that were killed happening on the China Sabah, all the people that were killed all together. The most generous estimate puts them at 3 million. Sorry, 2 million. What am I saying? Somebody wrote 300. The most generous estimate puts it at 2 million people, everybody put together. I have met an elder that I went to interview. He's 81 now. He told me the number was 300,000. He's Igbo. You guys just change numbers. And let me tell you something with these number games that you're playing. Number one is irresponsible. Number two, it was started by Ojukwu. It started in 1967. Actually started in January of 67. That's when he started playing these number games. What it does is it affects you than it affects me. Me, and number one, you cannot blackmail me with it. It doesn't. One day, and I've said it, it's not for my children's generation. It's, no, my eldest son's generation, Gen Z. These Gen Zs, you will talk to them, they will ask you for the grave of your ancestors. That's when you will stop this nonsense. I have a Gen Z son. I have Gen Zs that work with me. I have Gen Zs that I meet every weekend. This generation, they will ask you to show them the grave of your ancestors. And that's where you know. No, Gen Z, I know what I'm saying. I have Gen Z, I have Gen Alpha. My sister, we are young, but we are still young. Anyway, Children of God, stop lying. All liars shall find their place in the lake of fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Stop lying. Don't lie. Mi ṣàgbà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà o. A tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni o. Mi ṣàgbà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà. But àkèrè inú ayé náà ṣá. Ó yé yín. So, the next generation will make it harder for you clowns. By the way, when I say clowns, it's the liars I'm calling clowns, not the ethnic group, just to say that. But in truth, right, things happen. Listen, I've said it several times. If one person dies, it's one too many. So even if you say one person died in Igbo land, that's too much. It's too much. One soul, one person dying is one too many. So it's not about numbers. Even if you say 1, 10, like it will still make me feel bad. And I've said it several times. Unless you're a demon, there's no way you will see the pictures coming from Biafra and you will not feel something in your heart for the people. Unless you're a terrible person, you will feel something like, people suffered like this. But guess what? That's exactly what Ojukwu was doing. That was why he did not allow them to eat. I'm telling you, the reason Ojukwu did not allow them to eat was because he wanted the pictures to accomplish that same goal. And guess what? Even when I know what Ojukwu did, is to see accomplish that thing whenever I see these pictures. When I see those pictures, it makes me feel somehow. But it was a weapon. What Ojukwu was doing was to weaponize empathy. If you think I'm lying, go and read Robert Goldstein's letter. It was published 17th August 1968. It was published in a paper called Morning Post in Lagos. Read it. You can find it free of charge. It's in a book by Alabi Sama. But you can find it online. Find that letter. It's been a wonderful session today. Love everyone, but don't let anybody gaslight you with we have 1 billion people that died. I don't really care for the numbers. I care for the people, but don't blackmail me or gaslight me with numbers. It doesn't matter to me. But those who died, terrible thing. But you see, one of the things you discover in history is that you go beyond what happened to why it happened. And when you get to the why, you have more compassion for the people, but you have disdain for certain people who call themselves leaders. Because how on earth would you stop your people from eating because you want them for content? So the people, again, many of you are angry and insulting me. I understand what your parents or grandparents went through, and it's sad. But guess what? The person who covered you, you guys like him. You know. Go on said he fell sick, so he's an old man, he's in his 90s. Nobody lives forever. So if he's falling sick at 90, we're happy that he's well. For him to say he fell sick, that means he's better now. But bro, how did this stop them from eating? We are here to learn. German dog, I'm about to leave, but let me answer you quickly. So this is what his own PR representative said. And by the way, let me give you, if I mention that, you won't like that source, apparently. But read the ICRC report. It's National Red Cross Society. International Committee of Red Cross. They have a report, you can find it online. Read the letter by Robert Goldstein. Robert Goldstein was the PR representative for Biafra in the US. What Ojukwu did, thank you for writing the name. Guys, just that name, copy it, paste it in your browser, write letter, resignation letter, 1968, you'll find it. The book is Tragedy of Victory by Victor Alabi Sama. But by Godwin Alabi Sama. The Tragedy of Victory by Godwin Alabi Sama. You find it in the book, but you can also find it online. Robert S. Goldstein. Goldstein was begging Ojukwu as a 68 to allow food, medicine, and milk to get into Biafra. Listen, when you study, it's not like I've read the entire world. All of us are growing in knowledge, But the little we have read, which is, it's not that small, but we don't try small. If you read that thing, let me tell you what will happen to you as a Yoruba person or as a human being. You will feel sorry for Igbo people. But guess what? You feel angry. You will be angry with Ojukwu. You will feel sorry for Igbo people. You'll be angry with Ojukwu. And then if an Igbo person reads some of these things, sincerely, why do you think Henry comes here and he says, I mean, we don't agree on everything, but for the most part, there's congruence, there's alignment. The reason is because he has read these things. There's another gentleman, and again, Phoenix. Again, this is why I don't like to insult everybody. Henry, Phoenix, apart from Okwabi Asika and Dora Quinley. Henry comes here, Phoenix comes here. There's another gentleman. They've read these things. You will feel sorry for Igbo people, but you'll be very angry with not just Ojukwu, with the generality of the leadership, especially from the 1930s to the 1960s. Guys, I don't hate people. Read these things. You, as an Igbo person, you feel bad. How can leadership of a people do this to other groups in the same country? How? What kind of spirit is this? Let me tell you what's happening. And guys, I'm going to end with this. I can't go deep into it because I'm feeling somehow now. Listen, what happened to Igbo people really is the fathers have eaten sour grapes. The children's teeth are set on edge. That's what's happening. It's sad, it's terrible, but the children don't even know that what they are going through, this thing of they hate us, is the worst thing that happened to Igbo people. Forget the war was bad. The people dying was terrible. But beyond that, that mindset of they hate us, they kilonjebe teeth. The point is that when, imagine the fathers eat something, then the children are the ones who are now suffering the consequences. When you look at the entire thing, you see how the leadership of the group did certain things. Many of the young people don't know it. They don't know it. And so they think that they are hated. And I said something. The death during the Civil War, terrible event. Unfortunate, crazy stuff. But guess what? That's not the worst thing to happen to the Igbo man. The worst thing to happen is the propaganda that has been regurgitated generation in generation. I'm hated, I'm not loved, Nigeria hates me, I'm a second-class citizen, they don't want me, if I go there, they'll kill me. Meanwhile, I'm going everywhere. They hate me everywhere, but I'm going everywhere. I'm doing business everywhere. I want power everywhere. I want to own their space. Am I not a Nigerian, but I'm a second-class citizen? All those contradictions that goes on in the minds of, and that's why I said, I really pray to God, sincerely from my heart, for young Igbo people, anybody less than 30. The ones less than 30, they are the ones that I'm concerned with, because I actually work with some of them. Like, they are the ones I'm actually, all those ones that insult me, those ones, they're already far gone. It was so bad. Papa looked at Ojukwu and said, this one is irredeemable. He said this in his interview, and it was in a public space in 1983. You know the worst thing that will happen to you, Maurice David? You and your family will eventually will always have misery. And that misery will consume you. And let me save your children, but to consume you. It will consume you to the point where you'll be wondering, how did this start? Where did this start? They'll tell you it started on TikTok. And that day you discover where it started, you'll be healed. But you will go through trouble in your life. That day, you will ask God to forgive you, and that day you'll be healed. Until that day, pain, you go through pain. I've told you that once you drop any terrible stuff, I'm sending it straight to you. Why am I saving his children? Because the children did not send this guy to be stupid now. Those children they are precious. That's how people go and offend. And the thing is that the things I say, I'm telling you, it will work out. Like, but you'll be redeemed, but you go through it because you said it. So it will happen to you first. Then you will now be saved from it when you repent with your God. If you do it tonight, it will be okay with you. If you don't do it, you will suffer the consequences until you now talk to God and He saves your life and you'll be well. All right. I think I said what I wanted to say. If you are Igbo, God bless you, God save you. Read. There's another thing that we need to read. Right, but I've said several times, your pain, your anger is not really with history, it's with the propaganda that you've been told. Your issue is not with history, it's with the version of history you've been sold. If you want to change, get the real thing, and find a way to resolve the crisis in your mind. This issue is primarily in your brain. You're the one living all over Nigeria and saying that they hate you there. Meanwhile, you're always living amongst them, but they hate you. May God help you to reconcile these contradictions, and then somehow, somewhere, especially for the younger ones. You, these older ones, curse me out, no problem, until you do more than yourself when I will return it to you and your family, apart from your children, because they didn't send you to be this stupid. But your parents failed you. I'm talking to those ones who insult me. Okay. All right. I'm going to end the live now. Before I go and say, because one clown just came in and said something in the comment section. If I respond to you now, it's been a wonderful session today. We're going to continue from here tomorrow. We're going to be using Oswanlele's book as the primary source tomorrow. Today we focus on Victor Banjo and his broadcast to Nigerians and Biafrans. And we learned something very important. If you're Yoruba and you have this heart for everybody, I just love everybody. I just want good for everybody like me. Have that thing, but also remember that not everybody thinks like you. If Victor Banjo was planning to do good, which he was, and he was promising somebody that you are safe, meanwhile, the person who sent him to that place had already sent somebody else to kill that same person. It means that you have to be very careful of how you move in a space like Nigeria. And all these politics that you're doing, we are all together, your obedient movement. If there's anything I can give to you as a person, leave obedient movement. It's not a good place for any Omolabi. You know why? It's a place that is conjured to diminish and corrode your self-respect, but somehow enhance the self-respect of certain groups in Nigeria. That is why you can insult your pastors, you can insult your leaders, you can insult your professors, you can insult your kings. But no, you cannot speak anything about IPOB. You cannot talk about the governance of the Southeast. Why? Why? Think about it. But thank you very much for being here today. It's been a wonderful session. All the people who came up to speak, everybody who, shared their thoughts. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you to those in the comment section. The tapping you do, that little stuff you do means a lot, and I appreciate it more than words can tell. So thank you so much for your support on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the gifts, those who gifted us. Today, I didn't put up the account details today, maybe tomorrow, but thank you very much for your generosity, for the gifts and all. And please don't stop. TikTok does this rating things. So please, we won the battle today. 350K, we're almost there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you see, we didn't close today. We didn't close abruptly like it happened yesterday because you liked it. And thank you very much for your support. All right, so we're going to see you again tomorrow. To those of us on YouTube and Facebook, thank you very much for being here. So, excuse me. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. And we'll do this again. If you're on TikTok, please click on the heart icon to join the team. If you're already a member of the team, please click there and just drop a heart me, drop a gift, drop anything, even if it's a coin. The reason is because these things actually take us up on the live. So you'll notice that these days, some people just say things like, I was scrolling through, I saw you and I came in. Even though nobody shared it to them. That's because we are on the FYP and more people are seeing us. So please, let's do that on a daily basis. These things help. And it's also good to give, by the way. But thank you very much for your support. So our friends on Facebook and YouTube usually play the anthems. We have anthems that we play at the end of the sessions, the Nigerian anthem and the Yoruba anthem. But YouTube, Facebook, copyright issues, every day we play those things. So we're going to, in fact, sometimes they mute it on Facebook. So that Komada be and waste the time around. I'm going to let you go on YouTube and Facebook, and then we'll have the anthems here on TikTok. But thank you very much on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you for your support. Thanks for engaging. I see a lot of comments today. We also had more people come on YouTube. At the time, I saw over 60 people on YouTube. And sometimes you go on YouTube, you see 1,000 views. Hopefully, we can take it up and all of that. So for those of us, of course, on TikTok, I'll say this again tomorrow. Once we come around, I know a lot of people may not be using TikTok, but you can share the YouTube link with them. But thank you so much for everything you do. Ojoniwa obey your conshota and they jili the jimpa and the basi bow me shota. Come out with Mari. But it's good to know that you are here, and thank you very much for your support. So Facebook, YouTube, good night, everybody. Good night to you guys. We're going to listen to our anthems before we go here on TikTok. But good night. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Ife time, West African time. We'll be here again tomorrow to continue Victor Banjo, Caught in the Storm. And we're going to be focusing on what happened in the Midwest. Now, if you hated me today, I can assure you you're going to hate me more tomorrow, because today I talked about Victor Banjo more. Tomorrow is about what happened in the Midwest. If you hate me today, you will love me, but you might hate me tomorrow. But guess what? I don't care. May God bless you. All right. So YouTube guys, thank you very much. I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Ife time, West African time. Thank you. Have a great evening. All right.